Hello YouTube, I hope you all haven't missed me too much. Easter weekend was quite busy for me and I haven't gotten around to posting a new video. This is not a time-lapse video, but I'm going to give a sneak peek of what's to come. Instead, this video will feature some of my favorite works that I've done in the past. Do not fear, I have not stopped making art. In fact, I'm currently working on two projects, the unicorn riding elf lady and a small painting. Some of these pieces, like the one that you're about to see, were made for an art class. You'll notice a fish. Yes, here it is. But some of them are more personal. If you are subscribed to my Facebook, you may have seen some of these pieces, but keep watching and you'll see the pieces with detail that a still photograph cannot do justice to. This fish is a monotype print. The process is quite fun. It does require some patience though. I used 2 sheets of clear plastic, covered them completely with an oil-based printing ink, one blue and one red, placed each sheet over a design that I drew separately, and used a cotton swab to carefully remove ink from the areas that I did not want any ink. The sheets of plastic then act as a stamp. I printed the blue sheet first. All you have to do is place the piece of plastic on top of a piece of paper, and then use pressure and press the ink onto it. This next piece is obviously based off of the same fish design. These were less time consuming once I finished carving the scale shapes out of the sheet plastic. The only work I had to do after carving the plastic was to ink and erase a few details with a cotton swab, such as the fins and the head, and then print. The inking part was all done with the same tool, a brayer. That one tool can be used to make many different textures. I don't show all of the prints that I made with the carved plastic, but I did make many of them with many different colors. This one is a watercolor painting, also done for a class. I chose to do a pomegranate because pomegranates, they're very naturally shiny and they have a very rich color. I tried to capture that with the watercolors. I didn't do too well to match a realistic looking pomegranate, but I got to use a whole variety of different colors to portray this. I think it looks pretty good. There are many different ways that you can use watercolor. It's not all just runny paints. One of the most important things to make a watercolor successful, in my opinion, is to leave some areas of the paper white. Those are your highlights. It's hard to remove color once you add it onto the paper, and you can't really use white watercolor to highlight as well as you would if you left the paper white. This third piece is, or fourth, is a personal painting. It's an oil painting of tomatoes. Here I used a lot of white paint. Oil paint is a medium, unlike watercolor, that you can use white to highlight. The reason that you can't use white watercolors to highlight is because watercolor is transparent, and putting a white layer of watercolor over your painting would just blur instead of highlight. That is why you can highlight with oil painting, because it's opaque and you can layer it on top. So this next piece is not actually a finished piece, but I thought it would be fun to throw it in here. There are two tadpoles, maybe, in a pond with a lily flower. This next one, I really enjoy doing this. This is actually based off of a picture that I took of a tree with vines. It doesn't really look like that. In fact, some people say that it looks like seaweed, which I don't mind people interpreting my art however they want. It is creative. This area that I was touching before, I wanted to show that there was actually texture from the paint because I built it up so much. That area was my favorite because I built it up with many different colors, and in person you can see that it looks like it glows. Anyway, here is one of my more favorite pieces. I finished this one last year in April. It's again not a very realistic painting, but I do enjoy it because it has realistic aspects to it. It looks sort of like a fantasy, and because of all of the cool colors that I use, it's a very calming picture for me to look at. And it was very fun to do it because of the patterning of the table. And I wanted to show you that I do not leave the sides of canvases just white. It was a pet peeve of mine all the time, so I covered all of my paintings with something. This is the only one that I showed in this video, but I continued the painting onto the sides. Some of the other paintings I just painted around a solid color. Here you can see some of the highlighting with colors other than white. Yeah, this is my favorite painting so far. I've got many more to make in my life that I hope will be better than this, maybe. I don't know. Another oil painting. I think it actually looks a lot better off camera. You can see a lot of layering in this iris eyeball thing. I don't know eye parts. I feel like the iris is actually the black part in the center. I can't remember. But I tried to put a lot of detail into the eye because, as they say, the eye is the window to one's soul. And I wanted you to see into this soul. I chose to paint a pair of full lips around this eye to maybe represent speech. I do have social anxieties, and speaking isn't what I do best. So this painting, to me, represents a soul beyond the words that I speak or don't speak. I do apologize if this commentary seemed a bit rushed. I could go into greater detail of each of these pieces, but wanted to just give you a brief overview. Comment below if you want to hear more about my inspirations or techniques, and thumbs up if you like my art. I hope this video was to your liking. I will see you soon with more time-lapse videos. Goodbye, and thank you.